RLC Ventures. But let's dive straight into the panel. And the first question to our panelists is, what are the benefits and challenges that a mission-led company might face compared to one that isn't explicitly so? So that might be about, is it harder to generate revenue, get funding, build client base? So who would like to take that one? Tony, do you want to start quickly?
Sure, I'll go ahead. So I think it's fair to say that you're not alone if you're looking to build a mission-led company. Last time people ran a count of mission-led businesses or businesses that claim to be mission-led, there was some 123,000 businesses in the UK that claim to be mission-led, generating over 165 billion in revenue. So this is a happy market where you are able to be supported by a wide range of businesses who have done this before you. You are not alone. There are multiple ways to build a mission-led business. I think I look at this perhaps from quite a technical perspective, and we can talk about some of those structures in due course, but it's not just about being a charity. There's much you can do beyond just being a charity, and these guys are great examples of that. And maybe I should let them talk about how they built their businesses.
Yeah, I think continuing on from that, we have a mission, we have a belief in how we want to add value to the world, but when it comes to the conversations that we go and have with our clients, I need to offer them something which is of value to them as well. So think really hard about your business proposition, think about your value proposition, think about your customers' issues. Because when I go out to a competitive tender, they may listen to me in that they'll invite me to talk to them because we do a good thing. That's not why we win business. We win business because we offer a product which is at a great price point, which is effectively done, which helps people solve some sort of problem. So really, keep your mission as a way to keep yourselves honest, but don't let that, I guess, take your eye off the fact that you need to run a business which is also a sustainable business like any other else.
I think I'll start with the benefits. It's your passion. The reason you're starting the company is because you believe in something and you're kind of led by that versus the money. So when I started BYP Network, I was just in my room. I wasn't part of the startup ecosystem. I just saw a problem that needed to be solved. And then off the back of that, it really grew. There was a lot of press and PR because of the mission that we wanted to change the black narrative and the current conversation with diversity and inclusion being such a big topic. And from the back of that, that's where we were able to kind of understand the business model and the revenue model, which then also led to some funding. So it's kind of like if you lead by your passion and purpose, that can come. But at the same time, you do need to have all that kind of set, the revenue model, because investors will want to know your cash flow forecast, for example. I guess the negative side can be the fact that people might assume that you should be a charity or tap into the CSR budgets, which isn't necessarily the case, and it's more about having to explain to people that actually there's a huge market in this, that we're about to get a lot of talent onto one platform to benefit your company, and it's not just a CSR, this is benefit to you. So it is about the story and being able to explain that, but ultimately if you are mission-led, you'll be fine.
And just touching on that point, we were talking before the panel about how funding and mission kind of works together, and you were telling a very good story about how, because you stuck to your mission, you were actually it was quite easy for you to raise your pre-seed round. So is it something that you think that founders should be focused on from the start, and that's to all the panelists, and will it help them attract funding, do you think?
Yeah, 100%, because again, I didn't go into it thinking, okay, I'm trying to make billions of pounds, but at the same time, there was a clear path of how that could be the case. With BYP Network, we won a lot of competitions. So we got backed by Sky as kind of future leaders in technology, New Entrepreneurs Foundation and Founders Forum as well, all within the same week. So we won about £40,000. And then off the back of that, loads of investors came to me to say they wanted to invest in the company. So it's kind of like if I never led with that mission or the story of why I started it, maybe that wouldn't have happened. So I think people shouldn't be put off about having a mission-led company because your passion will keep you going versus just chasing the money.
Anyone else? Anything else to add?
So I was just going to add, in terms of when you're thinking about building your business, one of the things that strikes me that happens quite a bit with founders who do have a passion, who do have a desire to build mission into their business, is that it's too easy to have a tendency to think, I should come up with some complicated structure. And quite often you see people sort of trying to say, if we build it, they will come. And actually, what you can end up doing is tying yourselves in knots. There is lots you can do with simple corporate structures. You don't need to go down the route of necessarily tying yourself up on day one to a particular structure. The things that people do, just to give you a feel for it, is that they, simple things like they say, we're going to make sure that a proportion of our profits are always dedicated to a particular charity, or always dedicated to a particular purpose. And you can build that into your constitution without actually needing to come up with a really funky structure or an interesting business structure that is going to be hard to explain to investors down the line. My constant piece of advice to founders is, in relation to this and many other things they do in their business, is keep it simple. Keep it simple for yourself, keep it simple for the business, people you're dealing with, your customers, keep it simple for potential investors in the future. But there's still lots you can do in that simplified structure.
Right. And Code First Girls, you were structured as a CIC, that's right? So the reasoning behind that, and has that helped, what are the benefits, drawbacks potentially? And what is a CIC for people that don't know it?
So CIC is a community interest company. So this is, I guess, what, when we talk about a social enterprise, this is one of the common, types of structures that you talk about. It has been both a benefit, but it also has challenges as well. So the one thing is around, you've got to understand what the limits of these different corporate structures are. So as a KIC, we have certain tie-ins about what we can do with our revenue. So for example, if we were to liquidate the company, we can't take that money out ourselves as whether it's founders or directors. That money needs to go to another KIC or another charity. So there are certain limits. You can do some bonuses, you can offer some dividends, even though we choose to operate as a not-for-profit, and you don't have to as a KIC. That's part of what is there as a CIC structure. And I think almost continuing on from that previous point, you can be mission-led in any type of company. You can be mission-led as a limited company, as a KIC, as a charity, as an LLP, however you want to look at that. But do think about what type of business you want to build, because that might then take you down a certain path and open some doors and close some to you. Certainly as far as our revenue generation, being a KIC has been beneficial to us. So it allows us to go and do client work like any other limited company. So a KIC is a type of limited company, albeit with some tie-ins. And it also means that whilst that, in our instance, we can't offer those tax benefits to companies as a charity would, it is something where when we have those conversations, especially with big companies, when they know that they are getting not only a market competitive service, a good delivery from a company who cares about their client, and extra brownie points is that your revenues then get plugged into doing further good outside of that. That's been a really compelling proposition for us to be able to go out to those companies with.
Win-win for everyone in that case. And moving on to our next